What is very present is that Giorgio he really was a servant, not of two, but of many, many, many multitude of masters. He was a master because he had a mastery of every aspect of this complicated world that we call the world of theatre, whether it's to do with physical things, the place, the structure, the scenery, the lights, the music, the words, the audience, this entire, what can we call it, this rainbow, this heavenly prism of colours. There wasn't one that he not only felt deeply, but feeling deeply is not enough. The theatre is not an art, it's an art, what you call in French an artigiani. And he knew, like a man who knows what cloth to use, what needles to use, every detail, what button to put on, and at once you see, there's a watch. Giorgio would at once look at it, he would know how to repair it, how to use it, and this mastery, he was a master through his mastery, which has made him a unique, he was in the great line that came to us through Stanislavski, but he went beyond them all. This was, with this word piccolo, it was gigante. He was a man of the left, and as a man of the left, you feel that all popular forms are part of life, and that there are people who are close to. So for me, I was formed as much in the boulevard, which today is despised, as much in Hollywood and Broadway. I never worked in Hollywood, but I learned from the richness of its culture, from the richness in Broadway. I never wanted to do something in the way Broadway did, but when I had the possibility of making this little work that came from a tiny theatre in Paris called Irma la Douce, and there was a possibility of doing that, and that was where Giorgio drew the line. No, he was such a fine purist in artistic terms, but the idea of suddenly breaking that down and doing something what I call rough, as against fine, didn't interest him. He was always like a maker of great wine, of great he was always, whatever he did, he was refining. And he invited me several times to rehearsals, whether it was of the opera or the theatre. I could see the way he would stop the actors. It was always something could be more refined. I remember him in a political meeting for the elections in France, where he was just making a speech for the left-wing parties. And with great passion, he came back to the sense of the man, l'uomo. But all of this comes back to, and that's where, in other words, he was a great humanist. I'm told that when he made the studio, which for him was important to have not only this great instrument of the piccolo, but something, and I'm told that he was deeply, deeply touched by the bouffe du Nord, and tried to use that, another thought that brought us together, and that is where my wife Natasha and Valentina did poems. I think they were poems of Beckett, but they did a reading together, which was recorded, and it was a very, very fine event for the two actresses together. The contact was human, And thank God, in the whole of human history, people have invented magnificent weapons to destroy humans. But nobody has ever come to the complete opening of the fullness of a human being. So both of us appreciated in the other that in our own way we were opening a little more hidden, mysterious and radiant parts of this unknown something called the human being. Because this is an unknown something, up till now, through human history, and it will undoubtedly continue until the whole planet disappears, people come together in what we call a theatre, which is just a space where people to come together to, for a moment, see more deeply into the secrets and the mysteries and the wonder of a human being. But we see today, to our horror, that what for Giorgio was so important when he started the Theatre of Europe, the Théâtre de l'Europe, just to feel that this word in Paris, which was in those days the heart of European culture, and that he could there affirm Theatre of Europe. And this was of great importance. And today we see that not only is Europe in danger everywhere, splintering, new fascism, Brexit, all this, it's falling apart, but we keep in us the ideal of which Giorgio really was the affirmation with his Théâtre de l'Europe.